Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. So I'm making a start on my Shabby Winter Blues journals. I'm doing 2 and then I can make some pennies for Christmas. So first of all, I'm going to take my waterfall template. So if you want to see how to make this waterfall journal, it will be a suggested video at the end of here, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. Now what you can do with this, now this was designed as a waterfall, so all the pages do that, and so it sits flat, but what you can also do is go like that, and you've got yourself a nice thick chunky base for a kind of flip. This is going to be like a flip journal. It's going to be quite big, but yeah, that'll be something I'll work on. Or I might keep it waterfall, I don't know. I might change my mind. And then obviously I'm going to be doing a traditional style journal as well, with the full size signatures. So I've got 2 journals to work on. So what I'm going to do is, although they're going to be both different but using the same kit, I'm going to work on the ephemera for both of them at the same time. Yeah, so what I'm doing today, I'm making an envelope flip, and I want to use some of these. I've recycled these from my husband's office. He gets an awful lot of mail. I make him save them and then I don't use them. So I've cut the tops off, okay, and the idea that I've had today is for a multi-pocket flip using these with the see-through pages. So let's see where we go. I might end up fast forwarding or, you know, skipping bits because I literally don't know what I'm doing. Just had a bit of an idea. So what I want is, so these are the envelopes. I've sliced the top off. I want that one to anchor to the page. Okay, so here's my page. So that one will anchor to the page so that it opens from the left. Okay, and you've got the flip down there so you can see. Whether I'll have it a top loading or a double side loading, I've not decided. And then the second one I'm going to fold in the same manner, okay, and I'm going to put it inside there, yeah, and then that one will close and that one will go over the top. Okay, so we're going to have a pocket here. When you open it, we'll put a small pocket here. Then you've got this window which will have a pocket here. Then that will flip up. This here we're going to trim down so that that will be 2 pockets, maybe, or maybe just 1, I'm not sure. It might be one long pocket all the way down and then a shorter one at the back because I'm going to have to trim it. And then you're going to have another 2 pockets there, so I think that's about 7 pockets, so that's not bad. So what we need to do first of all is make sure that the idea that we've got is going to fit in our journal. Now this is going to go on a left hand inside page. The reason being, we've got a lot of folds here, so it's easier. And here with the pockets, it's easier when you've got pockets at the side like this to have them from an edge rather than them being at the spine, if you know what I mean. So let's have a look. So my idea is like that. I want it to go there. It's going to need to have room to be sewn in, so I don't want it right up to there, and I don't really want it hanging off the edge. So I'm going to trim this one down. So let me just get my chopper. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz one if it'll have it. It doesn't always want to cut through a lot of layers, this. Even though it's got quite robust teeth, it doesn't always like it. So yeah, I'm just going to... That's done it. Chop that down. So let's have a look now. So I don't want this bit hanging off the edge. Maybe the tags that go inside, I won't mind them hanging off a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I've got a small gap there and I've got a small gap there. That's that problem solved. Now, when this is open, I want to be able to get in here, but because this is a fold, it's a little bit close. So we're going to need to trim this one down a bit. So let me just give it a mark. I think I'll trim it sort of here where the original flap was. Yeah, and I want it to wrap around there because I'm going to do like some kind of funky closure. I should have made one before I come on camera really, shouldn't I? But sometimes it's good to see people's thought processes. So yeah, what we'll do is I'll trim it there and trim it along there, and then when I've got my sections that I want, we can run through with the sewing machine after layering, which will just reinforce that. Yeah, so that's alright with me. So I'm just going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut along the fold there, and let's just fold it, I should get a more or less a straight edge. That's not going to be straight, Amanda. So look, I mean, it don't matter, does it? It don't matter if it's not straight. I wonder if I can do it with my, I'm not going to be able to do it with my chopper. I'll have to do it with my scissors. So I'm just going to cut that away. I'm not too worried if it's not straight because I'm going to layer it with paper and stuff like that. So then I've got, and I'll sew down there, so then I've got that pocket freer to get into. Okay, so then I'm going to glue this onto here. Yeah, so there, there and there. So it'll hang down a little bit, like so. But when it's folded, you won't see it. Okay? Right. I know what I'm on about. So what I need to do now is layer it with papers. So let's have a look. I think I might just go away and sew it first. Let me have a think. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and sew around where I need to sew, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I fast forwarded a large portion of the video because it was very, very long. It ended up over an hour. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start kind of matting and layering these envelopes. I do a bit of collage, some plain and some collage. So I'm just working out how much I need. I'm using the lovely background pages. It's one reason why I added lots of plain pages in my journal kit for things like this, so you're not wasting your you know, your best images. And the good thing is you can print as many as you need. It's not like traditional scrapbooking pads that you might buy from companies where you did think, oh, I'm going to run out, I dare use such and such because you know, I've got to make it last. You can print as many as you want. I have an Epson Eco Tank, so it is absolutely cheap as chips to print. I appreciate not everybody has one, but that is the inker that the printer that I would recommend. So here I'm just looking for a colour to distress all my edges with. I like inked edges. It helps the things stand out and it just looks pretty. But sometimes I can't always find the colour that I want in the collection of Tim Holtz ones that you know, that I've got. So I will turn to my old collection of Stampin' Up! Ink pads and have a look what I've got. And I'll put a swatch on a piece of paper and then hold it against whatever papers I'm using to see if it matches nicely. And in this instance I'm using, I think it's called Seafoam. It will give you the same effect as your Tim Holtz. They're just not quite as opaque. So just don't be as heavy-handed. But if you use a nice blending brush, doesn't matter what inks you use really, to be honest. They're all much of a muchness. They're all much, you know, much the same. So I'm inking around all the edges here. I'm ready for my layering. I have sewn around with my sewing machine, and I'm just laying down some of these lovely papers. Plain ones for the back, and then use your patterned ones and your ephemera for your focal points. That's how I do it. So yeah, I just fast forwarded quite a large amount because I didn't have a specific plan of what I was doing, and so it can look very much like I'm faffing, and you've got to be mindful of the time, but you can still see very clearly what I'm doing. and if you wanted to, there is a speed button at the bottom of the, you know, just underneath, where you can adjust your viewing speed. You can speed it up and you can also slow it down. So if you want to watch part of it that's going a bit fast, just press that and adjust the speed. So I'm now attaching the two components together. There we go, and when it's all folded up, it gives a nice effect. I like the kind of layered look there. So you've got like a boxy squared look when it's open, which to me adds to the look of the layering, and then when it's shut, it's all kind of flush, so it's nice. So I'm inking here after I've glued it on. Try and remember to ink your parts before you glue them on. It's just easier for you. I forgot, and so I'm having to go around. But if you do, just get a piece of scrap paper and put it over your patterned paper, and then ink the edges that way. So I'm finding some more of the patterned paper in a different pattern and a slightly darker colour. So the one underneath lighter and the one on the top slightly darker, so that they stand out nicely against each other. And again, inking with that one ink. I'll use that ink now throughout the whole entire journal to do everything, so that it all matches beautifully. So I've not measured anything. I just hold the paper against the space, roughly mark with a pencil and chop it. You know, because when you're using recycled envelopes, they're not going to be square, they're not going to be perfect, so don't worry if some bits aren't, you know, it's not the same as a mini album where it's got to be precise. It's a journal, so if it's you know, not completely flush, or it's not within the sewing parameter or anything like that, it really doesn't matter. It's just about getting creative, adding lots of layers of pretty papers, and just coming up with maybe some slightly unique ideas. There's loads of ways to fold paper. There's lots of variations on similar ideas. Lots of people have done this kind of thing with envelopes, but you can still come up with your own kind of version and have it quite unique. And then obviously how you lay stuff down makes it more unique. And this is what I love about journaling and about using digital papers. For example, you know, when you're using stamp sets and things like that, your projects are going to be very much the same as the next person's, because you're using the same stamps. But with journaling and digital kits, there's lots more room for individuality in there, and you won't see two the same. So here I'm just ripping some of the leftovers that I've already ripped and just collaging on this envelope, inking each one in between so that they stand out against each other. And there's no right or wrong way of doing collage. It's a good way of using up your scraps. Just make sure that, you know, you've got different things go in different directions. Don't just make everything exactly the same. And use the opportunity to get rid of those scraps on your desk. It's fabulous. So there I'm finding a nice patterned part from the collage sheet that's part of the kit. It was also a freebie in my group, and like I say, ripping them in different angles and different ways, so that'll be like a corner focal point. And then I decided to cut out one of the labels from the label sheet. I like these pink ones, so we've got the difference in colour between the blue and the pink there, so that's pretty. Inking that up, and then you could add words if you wanted to. I don't always put loads of words in my kits, because I think you can just type them on your PC and print them out. You can have whatever you like that way. So yeah, adding one of the stamps, and then I found a collection of die cuts that somebody had sent me, and I told myself I'm going to use these die cuts today. So yeah, so I'll be using a few, like foliage I suppose, round and about, until I get them used up. And it's just a good way of using up your stash, rather than things sitting in drawers for years on end and you're not using them. So get them out and have a look. just inked them, and they just look pretty on there. They're just in, I think some are white and some are ivory. So I'm just covering up the small gap that I had remaining with some pink paper, and that's a nice kind of patchwork. And then I've decided to add another die cut there, and at a later point when my project's dry I will go back over and I may well add some stickles to the leaves of these, just for a little bit of glitz and glamour. Stickles is a very pretty kind of glitter glue, and you know, sometimes you can think glitter glue is a bit childlike, but it really can just make a page pop and just lift things. So it's worth investing, and I do like the stickles because they are good, and you do get you know, a good concentration of glitter in the glue. It's a bit like cheap glitter nail varnish is no good because there's not enough glitter in it. It's the same with glitter glue. If you don't get a good one, it's a bit pants. So here on this one, to be a bit different, instead of just collaging or matting and layering, I'm using a stencil. So mixing it up, but keeping the colours the same by using the same ink. So you know it's all going to coordinate. So I'm just going around the window there and just adding a little bit of extra ink to the kind of very edge of the window so it's not too white. So now I decide that I'm going to add some pockets, and I'm using one of the journal pages with the corner clusters on, and I just thought the pink on the blue would look nice. It's a very subtle pink and it does coordinate beautifully with the blue. In fact, it goes far better than I ever imagined. So I'm doubling up the pocket to give it strength, and then I did go and sew around it on my sewing machine, inking it again with the same ink and gluing it on 3 sides. It's just an easy pocket. Things don't have to be complicated. So yeah, we're getting more and more pockets in this, just from recycled envelopes. It's amazing what you can do. And so here I've decided I'm doing a side pocket. So I'm using the same paper, but I'm going to put the cluster part at the top instead of at the bottom. I'm just layering over the edge of where my pocket's going to be with a little piece of scrap paper, and that will just reinforce it so that it's a bit sturdier when you're putting things in and out. And then I do go away and sew around that with my sewing machine as well, and then ink it and glue it on 3 sides, and there you go, you've got a nice sturdy pocket without any faff or complication at all. Really easy, and the pinks there look beautiful against the blue pattern backgrounds that we created. I'm really thrilled with how this kit's turned out. It's really lovely to work with. It does go together very beautifully. So now I'm looking for a focal point. So I've done the collage. It looks really pretty, but it just needs an image to stand out, to get, you know, to make it pop. So I've picked one of the blue jays here. This is on the fussy cut sheet, and I am fussy cutting it. And I'll just ink it and I will glue it on, and then that will give me a really vibrant pop of colour against the subtle collage sheets, and it does actually end up looking really lovely. I'm really pleased with it. There we go. See how it just that tiny bird there just. Okay, so all of the layering and the collaging is done. So now we can maybe put, so these I just cut out journaling cards and tags. I've not done anything with them yet, so this is just an example. So you can put one in there. Okay. Yeah. Then you can put something in there. Then you can put say something in there. You can put something in there. Okay, and then when it's glued down you'll be able to put something in that one as well. Okay, and we're going to glue it. How are we going to glue it? I might just glue it on 3 sides so that you can put something down the back as well. So that's that. It's 1, 2. Oh, you've got down the back there as well. I might have glued that in a bit tight for a journaling card, but I'll just stick something in to just give you an example, because it's a shorter pocket, isn't it? So I think something smaller there, maybe like a little cut apart. I've got the little fox there, yeah? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then when it's glued down, you just glue it on 3 sides, 7. So those are your 7 pockets. Right, I just need to figure out a closure, and then I'll go and I'll make better journaling cards. I might have like tabs on the top of them and stuff. And also what I will also do is, once my project's completed, I will put some kind of the stickles on these white leaves here. Okay, so let me just see. Right, so I've got room, if I use these journaling cards, I've got room to put eyelets top and bottom, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I need to get some more eyelets. I'm starting to run out. Okay, right, so just check before you put an eyelet in when you've already decorated that it's not going to stop anything going in or out of pockets. My journaling card's there, so it's not going to stop. I've got a good ½ an inch or so easily. Okay, so I'm going to put one there and one at the bottom. You don't have to do this is just me faffing to make it look cool. And then let's see if it'll be nice for me and squash nicely. Yep. This would be nice if you had some white eyelets. That would look cool, wouldn't it? Okay. And don't forget, it doesn't matter about decorating the back, because that's going to be glued into your book. You're not going to see it. Okay, right. So what we're closing it with, we could use seam binding, or we could use some... Let's have a look what string I've got. Okay, I've got this one which is quite nice. That might look pretty. Don't have to be seam binding, does it? Let me just see if it's going to be significant enough to show up. I don't think it's going to show up. Don't know if I've got a blue one. Just bear with me. So I decided to dye my own seam binding using the same ink that I'd used to ink the edges of the journal. That way everything will all coordinate and look really nice, but I fast forwarded it because it's a very boring process. So just put some ink down, add some water. Any kind of water-based ink will dye your seam binding. Just make sure it's thoroughly dry and you're good to go. I'm going to assess whereabouts it's going to go. And because I want to make that back bit a pocket as well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach it to there, so that when you're putting something in the pocket, it's not in the way, it's not catching. So there's my, wants to be about there. So let's just put some masking tape over it for now to hold it. I will go back and I will attach it. I'll probably stick a piece of paper over it, you know, just a strip. In fact, we'll do it now. Just put a strip of paper over it to stop it catching when you use that back piece as a pocket. Otherwise, when you're sliding stuff in and out, it'll get in the way. Okay. Just anchor it down with a bit of scrap, nobody's going to see it. Okay, that keeps it in place and stops it catching. Okay, so now, have I done that right? Yeah. So that closes like that, that closes like that. So now my seam binding will come through this hole here. Okay, and this hole here, and I've dyed it so it's kind of like, it's not completely blue, it's a blue and white, like it's a bit mottled, and I've done that on purpose. I just think it looks cute, and using the same ink that you're inking the edges with a plain white, seam binding is just about the easiest way to get good colour coordination. You can't get any easier, can you? And then it'll just close like so. Yeah. Do it in a bow. And you've got yourself a little junky little thingy. Probably put a little tab on that journaling card so that it comes, let me just get it, so that it comes out and it shows with the tab at the top. Where's my tabs? I did do some. There we go. So I'll probably ink it all. I might back it. These are only on paper. And then I'd probably put a little tab at the top and just have it peeking out like that. So then when it's in your signature, I mean, this is not where it's going in mine. This is just an example. So it will go on a, you know, no point putting it on a highly decorated one. I probably wouldn't put it there, or if I did, I'd put a different journaling card in, because that girl is the same as that girl. But it'll go on there like so, and there you go. Cute little insert. Undo your seam binding, glue it on the 3 sides, undo your seam binding. It's still a bit wet. Yeah, it'll come out, and then you've got all of your pockets and your little secret tucks. So there you go, we got there in the end. I think that's really cute, and I'll probably go and make, now I've designed the idea, I can go and replicate it. I'll probably do one that faces the other way, so instead of opening that way, it'll open that way, and put it toward, you know, in different sections of the journal. So there you go, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.